video today. This video is more for me to like force myself to like do better, because I'm like really behind in my reading goal for the year. My reading goal was 70. I was like real ambitious with it this year, because last year I did 50 books and I ended up reading 56, 57 books. I always get the number wrong. Watch, it's like 53 and it's not even that deep. But I was like, oh, well, I exceeded my goal, so let me try to like go up. Let me try to do 70 instead of 60, which it probably should have just been 60 or 65. So my reading goal for the year is 70. And right now I'm sitting at, I think, 47 books. And it's the end of September. We about to be in October. I have 3 months left to read 23 books. I think I did the math right. 23 books in the next 3 months, which, if I do the math right, is like 7 and some change books a month, which is like, it's doable, but it's like I shouldn't have to rush to finish books. Like, I should be just chilling. So the reason why, and I had to look back, like, why am I so far behind in my reading goal? And the reason is, in April, I only read one book. I read one book. And I finished it in the beginning of April and then didn't read anything else. And I don't know if that's because I moved in the beginning of May, so I was probably like just trying to get everything together and pack up my apartment and figure out what books I was bringing with me and what things I was bringing with me, what things were going into storage, and it was a lot. So that might be why I only read one book, but that's so pitiful. That's so pathetic. Like, how do I only read one book? So I'm just rushing, trying to read books, just trying to get through them instead of actually enjoying them, which I need to stop. I probably need to just feel like, you know what, it is what it is. Like, if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. But in my mind, I am a failure if I don't reach my reading goal. Watch, I only get to like 68 or 69 books. If I only get to 68 or 69 books by the end of the year, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be so upset. So what I'm going to do today is show y'all outside of like the books that I have for the fall, because those count, and I'm doing my best with those. But I'm going to show y'all the books that I have planned in my mind to read for the rest of the year. Now, does that mean I'm going to read these specific books? No, absolutely not. But these are the books that I want to read. Like I told you, I try to like plan out books. I tried to do that like a couple years ago. Like, this is my TBR for this month. This is my TBR for this month. And then I'll start it. And then after I read the first couple of books on the list, I'm like, I'll get down the list. Like, I don't want to read the rest of this. I'm going to read something else. So that's when I realized I'm a mood reader. But I'm going to try. These are the books that are like at the top of the list of stuff that I want to read. So I'm going to go through those. I have some stuff on my Kindle, which I probably need to put my Kindle down. I need to put my Kindle down because I keep reading on my Kindle, which means I'm ignoring my like physical books. And I have a lot of physical books that I really, really want to read, but I always end up just reading on my Kindle unless it's for book club and I have the physical book. But I'm going to show y'all what books I'm reading, and I'm going to show y'all the ones on my Kindle first, because there are a couple on my Kindle that I want to read. So let me grab my Kindle real quick. I have my beautiful Kindle. I need to put my other cover on, actually, but I don't have a Funko Pop for it. I actually don't need a pop for it because I don't want to put it in the middle because I have that Aaliyah sticker on there. But anyway, so let me go on here and find some of the books that I want to read before the year is out. So first book I have on my Kindle that I'm going to read is The Fall That Saved Us by Tamara Jarrett. I hope I'm saying your name right. How you doing? This book is about, I think it's about a demon hunter who tries to like get away from being a demon hunter and has a normal life. I think she owns like a bookshop, and but then she gets dragged back into it. So this just sounded interesting. I bought this book during like a Kindle Points day. I was like, oh, this looks cool. So I bought that. So I want to really, really read this. So I'm going to try to get to this one. Okay, I also have Descendants of the First by Renee K. Amayo. This is a sequel to the book Daughters of Nri. I think that's how you say it. Nri, Daughters of Nri. That book was about twins who don't know that they're goddesses, and they were separated at birth. One lives in like a village. One lives as like a helper or some kind of servant in the emperor's palace. And it's just about their journey trying to find each other. I want to read this book, but it's kind of as a part of another video I'm doing. So that's the main reason why I need to read this. But I read the first book last year while I was on vacation. And it was really good. I gave it like 4 stars, I think. So it was okay. I'm gonna just say it was okay. I'm not gonna say it was good. It was okay. But I do want to read the sequel and see what happened, because I feel like not a lot was going on in that first book. So something else gotta happen in this one. So hopefully it's better than the first one. Okay, so some of y'all out there might be shocked to know that I haven't read any of Tia Williams' books, but I have The Perfect Find on my Kindle. I also want to read 7 Days in June and A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. Those are also on my list to read. I just don't have them on my Kindle, or I don't have a physical copy of it. But I do want to read Tia Williams' books because all I hear are great things, especially about 7 Days in June. Definitely got to read 7 Days in June. That was on my list to read last year, and I never got to it. So I got to try to get to at least one of her books before the end of the year. So I'm scrolling through here just to make sure I got through everything, and I'm remembering that I also bought the first Dune book and The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, because I've been dying to read The Way of Kings. Like, I've been dying to get through that series. But the only thing about The Way of Kings, or all the books in the Stormlight Archive, are that they are really long. I think The Way of Kings is like 1,000+ pages. Let me see. I think that's a really, really long book. Let's see. First of all, can we appreciate the cover? I like covers like this. I don't know why. I just do. Yeah, 1,137 pages. Typical read time, 26 hours and 8 minutes. So I tend to read mostly on my Kindle while I'm at work. I work in a lab, so I can't really bring physical books in there because they introduce particles into the lab. But I can bring my Kindle because it's something that I can like wipe off before I bring it inside. So I can probably get through that at work, because that's where a lot of my reading time is, while I'm sitting at work not doing anything. So, oh wait, no, I pressed the wrong button. All right, now I'm gonna get into some of my physical books. Another thing in the last like few months actually that I've been neglecting is I have not been reading a lot of like fantasy books, and that's my jam. And I feel like I have this weird, like, I don't know, I need to read fantasy books. So a lot of the books that I'm trying to read for the rest of the year are like strictly fantasy. There's a couple of like contemporary romance books. Like I said, I wanted to read some Tia Williams books. I have a couple of Kennedy Ryan books up here I want to read. I want to start the Kingmaker series by her. I've been on a Kennedy Ryan kick for some reason. I just finished the Grip series. I'll tell y'all all about that next week. Or when is the 1st of October? Babe, yeah. What day is the 1st of October? I don't have a calendar in front of me, so I don't know. Tuesday? Tuesday. Okay, so apparently Tuesday. So yes, I will be able to talk to y'all about the Grip series next week when I upload a video. But yeah, definitely going to be reading a lot of fantasy, especially with my physical books. So let me grab my big pile. I always have a big pile of books down here. Let me grab my big pile. Okay, so so here is my my pile of books that I'm planning, that are at the top of my list to read to finish out the year. I have my fingers crossed that I'll be able to actually get to all of these. The only thing stopping me is me. So let me go ahead and show y'all what I have. First on the top of the list is Queen and Conqueror. This is the book that Kay sent me for my birthday, that she tells me is just so amazing. Like, I gotta read this book. You gotta read this book. I'm not reading the summary. I'm not even gonna look at the back of the book. I want to go in blind like I normally do. So all I know is that she says that this book is really, really good. This is by Isabel Olmo. I don't know absolutely nothing, but it's a fantasy book as far as I know. So it's giving romantic-y vibes though, but which is fine. It's still fantasy. It combines both of what I've been reading most of, which is great. But yeah, we're gonna try to get to this, if not for any other reason than for Kay's sake, so we can go ahead and talk about this book, because I know she's dying to talk to me about this book. So gonna try to read Queen and Conqueror. Gonna try to read Damsel. And the main reason why I want to read Damsel is because I want to watch the movie. And there's another book called Damsel that I had, and I was like, is this book? It's not the same book. I forget who that one is by, but I have another book called Damsel, and I thought that's what it was based on. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go read it, but it's based on this Damsel by Evelyn Skye. And I only know like little bits and pieces, and that's based off seeing the trailer of the movie, which if there's an adaptation of a book to a movie, I gotta read the book first. Most of the time, I told y'all I did it for Harry Potter, I did it for Hunger Games, I did it for Divergent. Anything that usually, if it's a book first, read the book first. So, which is why I will not be watching the Queenie series, because I didn't finish the book because I didn't like the book. So I won't be watching that. But yeah, gonna definitely get to Damsel so that I can finally watch the movie, because the movie just looked really, really good. So Damsel, gotta read Damsel. I'm gonna try to read Dragonfall. I think this was in my last book haul video, maybe. But it's about dragons, and something about dragons being betrayed by humans because their magic was stolen, and the dragons were banished to a dying world. And yeah, so what I'm wondering is, have y'all ever seen the movie Dragonheart? It's a movie from the 90s, I want to say. It was made in the 90s. It's a really good movie. The dragons, voiced by Sean Connery. It's given that vibe to me a little bit. So I'm excited about it, because Dragonheart is a really, really good movie. Makes me cry every time. If you've never seen it, go see it. I should make a movie channel. I don't know why I haven't made a movie channel. I love movies, and I feel like I talk about movies a decent amount on here. So why I don't do movie reviews or something, I don't know. Blood Justice. This is the sequel to Blood Debts, which I read in August, one of those two. But I just want to see what happens next. If Valentina, I think her name is Valentina, if she gets revenge for what Clem and Chris did to her grandparents, or if their mother gets to reclaim her throne, if things get better with, what is his name, Clem's boyfriend, if they figure out how to fix him after what happened at the end of the book. There's just a lot of things that I need answers to. And I don't know how I feel about this cover. Where's my other cover? Hold on. So here are the two covers. There's a very distinct difference between the two, and I like this one. I like the Blood Debts cover more, the like animated, cartoony, drawn, traditional kind of cover, as opposed to this cover that has like actual people's faces on it. Yeah, I just like this one better. But anyway, I want to read this. Got some praise from Chloe Gong. Shout out to her. All her books are great. I've read almost all of them except for Immortal Longing. I have not read Immortal Longing. Or I'm looking down here because this is where her books are. Or these little novella books from The Last Violent Call. But I've read all her stuff, and I like her books a lot. Ayana Gray, of course, love her books. Beasts of Prey, Beasts of Ruin. But yeah, actually there's a version of Blood Debts back here on the back cover that is similar to this one. But, you know, anyway. So I want to read Blood Justice, sequel to Blood Debts. Get some answers. Next, and I been so excited about this book. I don't know how I haven't read it yet. It's Blood at the Root. When I first saw this book on Instagram, and the author was talking about how, oh, the book is being published, this is the release date, here's the countdown, I had this ready. I was ready for this to come out, and as soon as it came out, I went and got it. It's just the way the summary, the way he wrote about like what it was about, was giving me Legendborn vibes. And Legendborn is, as I always, is that it's that book. Like Legendborn is everything. So I'm excited about this. You have this guy, I don't know his name. He goes to Cayman University, which I'm guessing is a school for magic. And he has powers that he can't control. So that, at least that's what I'm reading. So, feuding covens, there are witches involved, then magical politics, forbidden knowledge, buried mysteries. Yeah, this is definitely giving off, minus the witches, definitely giving off a Legendborn with the politics and the questions that need to be answered, forbidden knowledge, buried mysteries, all that. So, this is, yeah, this one is like at the top of the list. Like number one, have to get this read by the end of the year. Next book is Forged in Blood. I'm gonna go ahead and also say Exiled by Iron, which I don't have but will get because I already know I'm gonna love this book. I think this is it says duology, Tainted Blood duology by no, don't even try to say the author's name because you're gonna get it wrong and you're gonna, yeah, it's not gonna work out. Praise from Annie Davenport, who wrote The Blood Trials up here. Praise from Sarah El Arafi, who wrote The Final Strife, which I started reading and did not get a chance to finish. But I was told I need to finish it because the rest of the series is great. So I'm going to try to do that, but that book is in storage. So I'd either have to get it on my Kindle or go into storage and find it because I'm not buying another physical copy. I don't really have a whole lot of room for any more books. But yeah, I don't know what this one is about. This is another one I want to go into blind, so I'm not going to read it. But apparently, according to Sarah El Arafi, the author is called on the winds of world building and the gales of great writing to create a tempest of a novel. The winds of world building, the world building in this book better be just fantastic. I better not have a question about your world or how things work in this world. She's saying the winds of world building and the gales of great writing. They are writing paragraphs on the back of this book about how good this book is. That is crazy. So I'm excited to read it. This is up in the top 5 as well. Next book, It Waits in the Forest. This was part of my book haul number 2 by Sarah Doss. I told y'all how much I love this cover. It's reminding me of This Poison Heart with the shrubbery and the flowers and controlling the plant world and the elements and all that is just really cool. And she's just really, really pretty on the front. And I want to know what's up with her. Does she have... I'm trying to... For some reason, looking at this, the way her hands are balled up, she might be evil. Hold on. Roseanne Brown, Lasso Sandberry. Shout out to Lasso Sandberry. Shout out to Lauren Blackwood back here. Glued to these pages from beginning to end. An unsettling mystery that lures you into the darkness of the trees and refuses to release its grip until the very end. It begs the question, how far would you go to reclaim what you've lost and what you risk sacrificing to get it? Compelling, creepy, and complex. It will haunt you long after it's finished. Yeah, this is part number 2 on my list. So if Blood at the Root is number 1, this is number 2 on the list. I just, like I told you, I randomly saw this book on Instagram. I don't know how it came across. I don't know how I get book recs on my regular personal Instagram, but I do, and I'm glad that this showed up because I'm really excited about it. The nature girl, reading about nature makes sense. And the last book I have is Lore of the Wilds. Now, what I will say about this book, which makes me nervous, is it's about fae. I don't know if it's about fae or if there are just fae in it. Stunning romantasy debut about an enchanted library, 2 handsome fae and 1 human. I got introduced to the world of fae when I was reading the Folk of Air series, which I didn't care much for. The more time goes on, the more I realize I didn't really like it all that much. I was giving it 4 stars here and there and 4.5 stars, and I just recently dropped them all down to 3.5. But I'm just gonna be honest, it wasn't that great like the way people make it out to be. I think it's just super hyped up for no reason. But that makes me nervous because the main thing I didn't like about it was the fae. And then there were other things I didn't like about it, like the story, the writing, the pacing, some of the characters. But it just, the fae thing was just kind of I don't know how I feel about this. Oh, my chair is falling down. So it makes me nervous to read this, but I have only heard good things about it. I'm still a little nervous. She's making it says the main character is making deals with fae lords, and that's not gonna go well based on my experience with fae. I just don't know. how that's gonna go for her. But I still do want to read it. Somebody recently said, I read something, I don't remember what it was exactly, I just know I remember it making me really, really want to read this book. And I'm like, I had this book on my shelf, I was really excited about it until I realized there were fae involved, and then I just let it sit on the shelf. But as soon as I saw that little tidbit from whoever it was, I don't remember, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick this book up. So I'm gonna try to read this one before the end of the year as well. Another thing is, I know the holidays are coming up. I'm not a big like holiday book person. I don't pick up a book because, oh, it's like centered and themed around Christmas, because it can get a little cheesy and a little corny, and yeah, I'm not a big fan. I've only read like one Christmas themed like romance book, and that was Snow King Catches His Snowflake by A.E. Valdez. And that's because I'll read anything A.E. Valdez puts out, even if it's Christmas themed. And it wasn't corny to me. So I don't know if I'm going to be reading any like Christmas themed books. That one didn't like say, oh my God, like start reading Christmas books all the time. It was just because it was A.E. Valdez. She gets a pass. Like, so I don't know if I'll be getting to any like Christmas books in December. Probably not. But we'll see. So that's all my my books that I'm gonna try to get to. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get to them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was like a little all over the place, but I just wanted to show you guys what I'm gonna try to get to for the rest of the year, so I can, and then try to catch up. Like I said, I'm a few books behind, and yeah, I gotta do something about that. Oh, before I go, I forgot. I hit 100 subscribers. So thank you to anybody who has subscribed, who has watched, who has shared, who's liked, who's even glanced at my video and thought about watching it. Even if you didn't, that's okay. You thought about it. So I appreciate you guys. My goal for the end of the year was 100, and as of recording this video, I'm at 107 subscribers. So yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I hope that you enjoy listening to me talk about my books and be crazy about it. Another thing that I meant to share with you guys, that I said last week that I was going to make another video and put it out Friday, but I didn't get a chance to do that. So I am starting a podcast. It is called Shelf Love is the Best Love. I dropped a trailer already. It came out this past Friday, the 20th. You can listen to the trailer on Podbean or on Apple Podcasts. I don't know if it's up on Spotify yet, but it is up on Apple Podcasts. So if you have Apple Podcasts, you can go and follow the podcast, and I will be uploading my first episode really, really soon. So yeah, thank you guys so much again for subscribing and for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.